Seahawks have a deal with their starting quarterback. Russell Wilson's back. He is back. Russ is back. The finger heard round the world. In fact, I would argue the most important finger since E.T. Russ is back, and he is ready to go.
Or when you're in junior high.
Leave that. leave the jokes. Leave the jokes in the holsters, please.
Oh my gosh!
Now there is but of course, we wanted to make this very clear about just how important this comeback was. So we do have a statement from Russ's doctor. This is from Dr. Steve Shin, and we wanted to give this the proper tribute here on Fox Sports Radio. So this is from Russ's doctor. Want to make sure that we have everybody's ready here. On October 7th, 2021, Russell Wilson sustained severe injuries to the middle finger of his right throwing hand during a game.
Hey, Seattle, we got a deal.
He had immediate surgery the following day in the form of a repair of a fractured dislocation of his proximal joint and an extensor tendon rupture mallet finger.
Okay, Russ.
Time for y'all to go to bed.
Okay,
Although
Russ.
this was uncharted territory, I have never
Jonas.
in my career seen such a severe injury to the throwing hand of an NFL quarterback.
Come on, Russ.
To the body, Russ. To the body.
I have also never encountered a player so committed to his post-operative whatever therapy and with so much conviction to return to the same, if not better level of performance if he had pre-injury.
Do it, Russ.
Mr. Unlimited.
Do it, Russ.
I am absolutely amazed at his progress, so much so that I can now confidently clear him for full return to play without reservation. Russell Wilson's back. He did it,
I'm a great football player. I know I've been great.
Sierra! He did it, everybody. He is back. My God. Unbelievable.
Well done.
I mean,
that was good. We did pretty good there.
Well done.
This guy's a knob, man. I don't know. Like, hey, Brady, stick up for your quarterback brethren, please. Stick up for this sort of behavior. This self-ball washing.
I'm not going to go that direction. I'm more going to go to this doctor that makes it seem like this was the most insurmountable thing that's ever occurred in all of sports. I mean, I literally had this injury. It was so bad. My fractured dislocation was so bad, they had to put 2 pins in. And there was no way I could come back in the final 6 weeks of the season. And I think they put a pin in this case. It's his middle finger on his throwing hand. And they've done all this rehab. If he had surgery right after the Rams game where he injured it, and he'll be back to play 5 weeks. It'll be 5 weeks, or roughly, approximately that number, heading into this week's game versus Seattle or versus the Green Bay Packers. So that amount of time, I think, was faster or on the more aggressive end of what they thought. But the doctor made it seem like this was some insurmountable thing he's coming back from.
Right.
I will say this. I do think he's going to have a harder time coming back than people realize. Like I've told you all, I still to this day, you can go ahead and just jab a knife in my finger. Can't feel it. Can't feel it. You could chop off the end of my finger. Can't feel it. I would be sitting there like y'all looking at it going, that looks gory. Yeah, it does. It looks really weird. But that's just what it is. And it's going to feel different. He's not going to have the same ability to spin it as consistently. I find this interesting to see what he's going to look like coming back right away. He'll have to adjust as the season goes along. But I don't know, man. The whole build-up, the Secession, which is a great series, the theme music to it, it just all seems like a little much.
I had two linemen, 300-plus pound guys, collide. A defensive lineman and offensive lineman collide, and my finger was in between their helmets. I had an injury where I fractured my ring finger on my right hand and ended up with the mallet finger, and I did not miss a practice. Now, granted, I am not a quarterback. I do not have to hold a ball. I do not have to throw the ball, but I did not miss a practice with seemingly the same injury. So I just want to put that in perspective. Like, my finger is mangled. It still looks weird. So let's just be clear here. They probably tried to repair it and save it from being a mallet. Like, let's put it in the proper context, right? Like the pins and straightening it out and putting the cast on it and all those things is because he doesn't want a crazy looking finger.
Well, no, that's because of the way you use your fingers to throw. Like, you have to be able to use –
again, I'm not a QB.
You have to be able to use your extensors, meaning, like, you know how with a mallet finger, just so people understand, it's like your finger being bent and you have no ability to straighten it.
Yeah, like a double-jointed finger, people. Like that, you know how you bend the top of your finger and it's like, oh, I'm double-jointed. Like that the way you move your finger, it stays that way. It does not move.
Right.
Yeah.
So and so you need the ability to extend it, and in order to be able to flex your hand to then grip a ball, but also, push off to create the spin and be as accurate with it coming off, the tip of your fingers. That's why it's important. I mean, it's a very small thing, but it actually ends up being a huge piece of throwing the football accurately and powerfully down the field. That's another thing that I'll be curious to see. Russell's a great deep ball thrower. I do wonder how this is going to impact him, trying to push the football down the field once he gets into a game scenario.
Is that smart to even push it downfield? Is the question I would ask.
Honestly, I'll be curious to see what that game.
Right?
I'll be curious to see what that game plan looks like. Like, if they're not going to try to ease him maybe back into it in some way, because I do think you're going to see some wobbly passes. You're going to see some throws that are off, and you're going to say to yourself, like, okay, like, what do you chalk this up to? Rust? He hasn't played in 5 weeks. Maybe it's that. Or you can chalk it up to potentially the finger. I'll be curious to see how they tape it. I also think the other thing that you're dealing with is it's cold already. We're getting to that time of the year, so you already have a hard time feeling your fingers when you're adapting to the fact that you lose the nerve sensation. The way they splice that thing open to shove in a pin in there, you lose that nerve sensation. So he's not going to have that back. I'm telling you, it's going to feel different to him moving forward this year.
No, this is all of it, definitely important. Now, can we talk about just the social media stuff? I mean, come on, man. Like, what are we doing here? Like, he's got to have these production videos. The doctor's got to come out and ball wash him like this. Both you guys had similar injuries. I didn't see you guys run into MySpace during the time of your injuries, making sure everybody knew what was going on.
I blame the doctor, though. I blame the doctor.
Oh, you don't think Russ proofread that?
No.
No?
The doctor knows that. He knows where that's going. He knows that's going to be out there. His name's going to be a part of it.
God.
So he has to make it so big of a deal that no one's ever going to forget about it,
What he has to do is he has to have a Jonas moment with Sierra, wake up and say, you don't see any sweat. And you know why? Because that is the magical elixir that will heal my finger, my hand, and the rest of this world.
That is a good point.
Yes.
Yeah, y'all got to go to bed.
Yeah,
Seattle, you got
so I can wet it.
Yeah, Seattle, you got a deal.
I got to wet this bed so I can heal my hand.
That golden bath.
Yes, the golden elixir.
Oh man,
you can go to sleep.
So I can party.